Ladies and gentlemen, this is your first featured bout of the evening. And this bout is presented to you by Olivetti Boxing Promotions in cooperation with the Honorable Mayor T.B. Chief Beckford. This is 10 rounds of boxing in the light flyweight division. Judges are Wilco, Virgilio Garcia, and Engineer Greg Ortega. Your referee in charge of the action, Gerald Tulanga. Ladies and gentlemen, introducing first, fighting out the blue corner, tonight wearing white with blue trim and weighing 107 pounds from Big Fight Boxing Gym of Bautista City, Vincent Bautista. And his opponent across the ring, fighting out of the red corner, wearing red with gold trim and weighing 109 pounds from Olivetti Boxing Gym, Beyond City. Ladies and gentlemen, March Ray Machine Gun Taday.
Hello, I'm Ryan Sangalia, coming to you from Calamba City in Laguna, where we have a 10-round fight between Mark Ray Taday and Vincent Bautista. So that's Taday in the red, 7-2 with 4 knockouts, 22 years old from Cotabato City. And Bautista in the white and blue, 5-7-4 with 1 knockout win, and 24 years old from Tagbilaran City, Bohol. So this fight is being promoted, this show is being promoted as part of the Buhayani Festival in Calamba City. Taday is aggressive here, coming forward. Kind of winging his left hands right there. But he's had a pretty good year so far. Back in earlier this year, he scored an upset win over Carlos Cesar Peñalosa. But he took a hard left hook right there. And he followed that up, that win from February, with a win over Giovanni Cassin, who was a 3-1 fighter. Taday coming forward, kind of winging with his shots there. Some sharp counters early from Bautista. Bautista may have a 5-7-4 record, but he's been around the block. He knows how to fight, and he's looks to be looking to time counter punches, like right there where they both exchanged left hooks, and Taday was knocked a bit back on his heels. Locals here may be more familiar with Taday because of his affiliation with the Olivetti Boxing Gym out of Binyan City. Taday, I guess you could call him unorthodox, particularly the way, but that was a nice left hook right there. The problem with fighting those guys is that they look like they don't know how to fight, but then when you're looking for that, when you're trying to adjust and then they do something right, that'll catch you by surprise. And Taday knocks Bautista back on his heels with a left hook, maybe a balanced shot. But Bautista catches Taday as he backs out of the exchange with a left hook. Both guys leave a lot of room to get hit there. And both guys really like to exchange, so we may not see the 10-round distance here. Taday lands a right hand over the top to punctuate an eventful first round. We're here at the penultimate night of the almost 2 week Buhayani Festival, and it's a festive environment. We're in a festive mood tonight. We have a very packed crowd tonight. We had a little bit of a delay starting because of rain. The skies have cleared up and the people have come out. So the rain earlier tonight couldn't keep the people away from the exciting boxing action that we've seen so far. This is the fifth fight of the night, the first of our coverage here at Rappler. And Taday comes out storming the beach at Normandy, just as he did for the first round. And Bautista is timing those short counter punches in between the wider shots of Taday. Their referee is signaling that there was a clash of heads. Doesn't appear to be that either man sustained a cut. As Taday swings and misses with a couple shots, goes to the body, and Bautista's really, he's fighting off his back foot, but he's really digging in when he throws those counter punches. So Bautista doesn't really have to put in a lot of work to make the fight, because Taday is doing a lot of it for him. And as they pound away at each other, here's another way to differentiate the two. Taday has the rust red dyed hair. I guess you could say he has a hairdo to die for. See, Taday is doing half of it right there. He's leaning back just out of range at an angle where Bautista's counters are missing, but he's not really coming back with the counter punch quick enough. That was a nice left hand out of the exchange right there by Taday. And he loads up with a body shot. Bautista comes back with a right hand, two punch of his own. But then Bautista looks like he needs to rest after he explodes. It's almost like a sprint against a marathoner. Bautista, the way that Bautista throws his punches, it's like a 100-yard dash. Well, Taday, he's throwing some wild punches, and a lot of them are coming with his arm. But of the two, I would say he's looks more prepared to fight the 10-round distance. Here we are, the end of the second round. So among whom I recognize in the ring right now, we have Dino Olivetti in Taday's corner. And Dino Olivetti was a fighter from the 90s and the early 2000s. And Olivetti actually is from a long, he comes from a family with a long history in Philippine boxing. His father, Oscar Reyes, was the OPBF champion during the early 60s. All five of Oscar Reyes' sons were pro boxers. And Dino Olivetti fought world champions Mbulelo Butile and Injin Chi during his time. I believe his record was 26-12. He was a favorite fighter out of Binyan City, and now he's a trainer and promoter. As we start round three. That's Olivetti's Taday in the red. See, look, now he's actually fighting like a more traditional fighter, working off the jab, coming forward. But then he takes a little walk around the park right there. Kind of reset. So it can be hard at times to scout a guy like that. And he lands a nice double left hook right there. And a couple of uppercuts inside. We caught Bautista with his chin up in the air with an overhand right, came back with a left hook. Bautista comes back with a hook of his own. And Taday turns him around into the corner, throws a left hook up top, 2 body shots, an overhand right. And he's got Bautista in the corner. Uppercut, overhand right by Taday now. Taday is really making Bautista work here. Bautista misses with a right hand over the top. Taday slaps with a little left hook. He throws an overhand right. If he had his fist a little bit tighter, it may have done some damage. And Bautista's in trouble now. He may have gotten hit in the eye or just maybe a bit disoriented. But he appeared to be squinting. May have been some sweat in his eye. There's an uppercut. A couple body shots by Taday, who has been making the fight early on here. A double jab from Taday there. That was a thwacking body shot from Taday. And Bautista comes back with a couple shots of his own. Taday is really pouring on the pressure now. Bautista has his hands down on his side, making him miss, and landing a nice little counter punch in there. But he's allowing Taday to work, and not always landing his own shots in return. With a nice right hand by Taday to punctuate the round, and that's the end of the third. The first round, you really could have gone either way on that, but the preceding 2 rounds, I thought Taday was really in control, and it appears that he may become more in control of the fight as it continues, just because of the work rate of Taday. He's really not allowing Bautista to take a break when he wants to. Bautista is coming out now, fighting a bit more assertively. Lands an uppercut and a left hook. Kind of cuffing with the last shot. But it appears Bautista really is making an effort now to control the fight, about when they engage. He's being first here for the first time since the first round. And when he explodes like that, he's quicker, he's crisper than Taday is. So not all of Taday's punches are pretty to look at. Bautista looks a bit more like the more schooled fighter, but he may not be in the shape that Taday is. That was a heavy body shot by Taday there, left hook. And Taday just keeps coming on with the pressure. And when Bautista leans his head in, Taday is not shy at all about bringing that uppercut up the middle. Bautista's giving him the flank. He's giving him the body shot. And Taday is happy to take it. And you can kind of tell when a guy is a bit tired. Like, you know, his shorts will start to slag a bit, as Bautista's are. Oh, that was a nice left hook by Taday, right hand. Bautista comes back with a couple shots there. But now we're exchanging. Now we're exchanging blows. You would look at Bautista's shots and imagine that he would have the advantage in these exchanges. But Taday's willingness, or he's intent on being the last to finish a combination or finish an exchange, and that's kind of been the difference as we end the fourth round right there. Start of another round. Bautista comes out winging with those right hands. Hasn't been able to land those as cleanly as he'd like to. This is just trench warfare. This is just grinding it out here. Two tough fighters banging away. Taday knows that he's not going to win any beauty contest with his punches, but he's determined to throw a lot of them and not allow his opponent to the space that he would like to throw his own. That was a nice right hand by Taday over the top. Body shot. Body shot by Taday right there. As Bautista lands a little right hand inside, but for him, it's like one punch and then try to rest. And Taday is just looking to work. Taday did a nice little thing that he tapped upstairs with the right hand, came with the right hand to the body instead. Yeah. Taday weaves under a wide swinging right hand. He comes back with a left hook. Bautista lands his own shot. Someone has to pull up Bautista's trunks there. We're about to find out if he's wearing boxers or briefs. And that may be the product of the body punching also. Sort of dragging down the trunks. As Bautista's in the corner, he's taking some shots. He lands a little right hand there to slow down Taday. But I would like to see the referee jump in there and just pull up the trunks of Bautista, because that could also hinder his movement. Taday steps back, throws a 4-punch combination and a little left hand to punctuate it. There's a left hook right there. Bautista is just along the ropes. And Taday is just getting in those little shots right there that are, they've been the difference. And finally, someone pulls up Bautista's trunks. We were about to get all up in his business in a way we didn't expect to. Here we are. And you can really see both men are feeling the effects of not just the pace tonight, but also the heat, the humidity. These men are really putting in some work. They're fighting the elements. They're fighting their opponent. And even as they're tired, they have to still think of their strategy. It's not just they're not just going out there and swinging for the fences. They're making decisions based on what their opponent is showing them, and not to continue to nitpick about the wardrobe of Bautista, but something is up with his shoes. Looks like the tongue of his shoes are coming down. They weren't properly laced. I don't know. His wardrobe has been a mess today. But I guess he has other things on his plate tonight. He's more concerned about finding a way to slow down the avalanche of pressure that has been Taday. Taday is really he's fighting very impressively from a cardiovascular perspective as he lands a left hand. He's not the prettiest fighter when it comes to the way he throws his punches, but he's putting on pressure. Although some of the punches he throws can be described as slaps. They're a bit slappish. The referee wants to bring in the corner of Bautista to tape up his gloves. Why don't they tape up his shoes as well while they're there? And there we go. They resume. And the tape is still loose on Bautista's glove. And the reason that's a concern is because, you know, the guy can be winging some shots, and the tape can get in the eyes of the opponent. You really have to be concerned with that. Both men are really, they're really feeling the pace so far. They're slowing down a bit. Taday is still looking for opportunities to land those wide swinging, like almost like overhand rights. And the referee also, he once again signifies there was a head clash there. Someone may be cut there. He's signaling that there was a head clash. And it looks to be underneath the right eye of Bautista. So now Bautista, in addition to an opponent who is really coming forward nonstop, he's got a cut under his right eye. Not in a dangerous position, but it's not going to help him or his confidence. As Taday lands a huge right hand. And there's the end of the 6th. The referee once again signifies that that cut was caused by a headbutt. So the fight cannot be ended as a TKO due to that cut. Round number 7 coming up now. And Bautista still has the tape loose on his left glove, so they haven't fixed that between rounds yet. And another referee is just going to tighten it himself, or attempt to do so. And Bautista lands a little right uppercut inside as Taday comes lunging forward again. You know, Taday's punches may not look that hard or not that crisp, but you still don't want another man touching your face. It's not a pleasant experience, particularly when there's some velocity behind it. A nice little overhand right from Taday off the ropes. Bautista really looks worn out. I mean, obviously, Taday is not feeling that. Oh, that was a nice right hand. Nice straight right hand. Left hook behind it. May have been the best punch of the fight so far by Taday. Bautista comes back with 2 uppercuts and a left hook. Tries to throw another left hook, and Taday, while he was adjusting his cup, lands a right uppercut. And there's another right uppercut as Bautista backs up, looking like he needs another rest. And Taday goes right back to the body. He understands that Bautista is looking for a rest, and it's hard to get a rest when a man is punching you in your internal organs. There's no quit in Bautista, but then there's really no quit in Mark Ray Taday. Interesting little footnote. Taday's last defeat was a year ago, here at this exact same ring, and he lost to Glenn Kalakar, a majority decision. Bautista actually beat Kalakar. Bautista beat Kalakar in September of 2016 in a majority decision in Tarlock. But this is just going to show that there are no triangle theories, triangle formulas in boxing. Just because one guy beat another guy and then he'll beat him, doesn't mean that that guy beats him then. As we get ready for round 8 coming up, as the helpful ring card lady helps point out for us. Start of the 8th round. And Taday goes right back to the body. Oh, that was a hard jab. A hard, clean jab right between the gloves by Taday right there. And, you know, Taday, it doesn't want to take his foot off the gas pedal because you don't know what the referees or what the judges were thinking in previous rounds. There may have been some rounds that that have gone to Bautista, even though Taday is really the one who's been making the fight in terms of coming forward and throwing punches. And if Bautista was looking to land a couple of shots and score a knockout, Taday has never been knocked out. But then again, everyone has never been knocked out until they get knocked out. So we'll see what Bautista can do. But Taday is still coming forward right here, although not with as much fury as he was. And as Taday slows down, you would imagine that there are some opportunities for counterpunches. Just that when Bautista has landed them, he hasn't been able to get the work done that he had hoped to. And against the ropes, when he's backed up there in the corner, he doesn't have the leverage that Taday does coming forward. There's a double right hand. The second right hand really was the one that that landed cleanly by Taday. Oh, there we are. They're exchanging blows right there along the ropes. The crowd is coming alive. Bautista landed a little right hand inside right there. And Taday now trying to come over the top. See right there, Taday is leaning in. You would think that there are many opportunities to land those uppercuts. And then Taday just drops a little left hook right inside there. It's been all heart by Taday so far. And this isn't my first time to ever see him fight, but you can understand why he may score some upsets over fighters with good records, because he doesn't stop coming forward. He fights the whole fight. He fights every moment of the fight. And Bautista capitalizes on a short miss there with a right hand of his own. Bautista tries to sit down in his own corner thinking that the chair was there. The chair was not there, and his corner had to hold him up so he didn't sit down on the floor. start of another round. That's Taday in the right, in the red, and Bautista in the white and blue. Taday now bouncing on his toes. Looks like he's trying to set up his own counter punches. Or buy a little bit of time, but I think he'd like to see Bautista try to come forward and make the fight himself. See, those lunging, slapping shots, they look like they would be easy to counter. But you have to really step in and take the opportunity to counter. See, when Taday comes forward, his hands are in front of his feet. So there really are some counter punch opportunities, as Bautista attempts one right there. Really, every time that Taday throws a punch, he's playing with fire. Bautista backs up after a left hook from Taday. Taday started one hand, came in with the other hand, but he was a little bit too far out when he tried that move, and Bautista was able to get away. Oh, they exchanged blows. Bautista may have gotten the better of it, and it looked like he got the better of that exchange as well. Taday walking away. It looks like he's trying to set up a trick shot with the right. But Bautista's really coming on here in the ninth. With a right hand high on the head and left uppercut. A body shot to Taday, who was along the ropes, and another body shot. Taday may be falling apart here late in the fight. As Bautista comes forward and looks about as in control as he's been all night. And Taday falls down as he tries to throw a punch. Taday is really feeling the pace here. But if you were looking for a round to give to... Oh, that was a hard right hand by Bautista! As they exchange blows. Taday may have been in more trouble right there if there were another 10 to 15 seconds there. So we have high drama going into the 10th round, the 10th and final round. Taday looks to have been controlling the fight throughout. But now the question is, can he make it to the final bell? Bautista landed a hard right hand there as they both exchanged blows that appeared to have put Taday in a bit of difficulty there. Taday was in trouble there at the bell. There we are, the 10th and final round. Bautista looks like he wants to fight. Taday says, let's go. Taday has been in control. Oh, they both land right hands. Bautista may have gotten the worst of that one right there. He had his chin up in the air. But then Bautista lands his own right hand. These guys are firing away with knockout blows. You have to wonder. It looks like they're both waiting for each other to let fly with their shots, and then they're going to gamble. Who's got the faster hands? It's like the Wild West. Who's the gunslinger? Who's the quicker to the draw? And Taday never wanted to back down from a challenge, but when they do that, Bautista looks game to really test his own hand speed, particularly against the wider swinging shots from Mark-Ray Taday. As Taday lands a 4-punch combination with Bautista against the ropes, but there isn't as much zip on his shots. And Bautista really is the worse for wear here. Instead of spinning up and working, he's looking to hold. It's Taday who looks more like he wants to work here. Taday he's never one to really take anything for granted. And his trainer Olivetti is behind him, telling him just to work. This is not where Bautista would want to be, along the ropes here. There's another wide overhand right that lands for Taday. And a little left hand, because in these exchanges, it's really been Bautista who's had his chin up in the air. When you stand tall in exchanges, you're the one who's going to get hit. As we saw right there, a left hand as Bautista is straight up in exchanges. Taday's been the one who's been getting low. And that's why a lot of these shots from Bautista have gone over Taday's head. There's the clapper for the final 10 seconds. And there's the final bell, and Taday will put his hands up in the air. And Bautista looks like he needs to be held up a bit. Taday looks like he can go another couple rounds. Bautista looks really the worst for wear. He's absolutely exhausted. As he takes a seat, I figure Taday has got this fight. Maybe 6-4 or 7-3. You never know, but really the body language really tells you who won the fight. And looks like we're ready. Looks like we're just about ready with the scores. But anyone watching this will know what to expect from Taday. That when you're booked to fight him, you better bring a lunch because it's going to be a long night.
Ladies and gentlemen, after 10 rounds of boxing, we go to the scorecards. But before I give the score, what a great fight. And now, ladies and gentlemen, here are the scores of the three judges. Hit Cole scores about 97-93. Injury Greg Ortega scores about 99-91. and Berhino Garcia scores about 97-93, all to the winner by unanimous decision, Machine Gun.
And there we are, as we imagined it. It was a unanimous decision for Taday. He moves to 8-2 on his career, and Bautista drops to 5-8-4. So that's been so the 10 rounds of action. I'm Ryan Songalia from Calamba City. Tune in for the next fight.